Alright. Hey guys, it's Phantom, and welcome back, or welcome to another episode of the Ask Phantom podcast. So, today I'm talking about kind of what having a job at a young age taught me. And if you guys are wondering, I started YouTube in my freshman year of high school, so I was 14. And that's not the typical age to have a job. Like, some people wait until they're 16, but, when you have a non-traditional job, you can start work whenever you want. Okay. A couple things, let me just start off. A couple things that having a job so young has taught me. If you guys are wondering, I've been doing YouTube since 2016. So 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So about 5 years now. I've been on YouTube for 5 years. If you guys are wondering. If you guys are like original subscribers that subscribe to my old channel, then my channel would be 5 years old. And I did start 5 years ago, so if you guys remember, but I deleted my old channel. I don't want to get into that. I was 15 and I was like 15 and I was stupid. Like, I did some stupid stuff when I was younger. So, couple things that having a job young has taught me is, let's see, time management. Especially time management is a big one for me because, it's big for everybody, but especially for me because YouTube took over my life. Like, I'm not kidding you. YouTube took over my life, you guys. You have no idea. So, okay. So, all throughout high school, right, I was in, like, college preparatory courses. It was easy for the first 2 years, right? It was easy for the first 2 years. There was a time that I still remember of me being in a hallway. I think I was walking to one of my classes and having a stress attack or something. And saying something about wanting to be homeschooled. I don't know. I still remember that, but I don't remember, like, what day it happened or what month it was. I don't remember. It was so long ago. But I still vividly remember that, and I was crying. It was a whole ordeal. I don't want to talk about it. So it was fine for the first 2 years. I kept my grades up and everything. I passed my classes. I passed all my classes. And then I moved on to my junior year. Okay. I'm skipping 2 years ahead because I wasn't, like, that deep into the YouTube hole then. I kind of was, because I did struggle with some courses. I did struggle with certain courses. Like, I struggled with things like chemistry, and I struggled with Spanish, my second year of Spanish. My first year I was fine. My first year I passed, but it took me a while to get to a passing grade in Spanish my second year, and I don't even think I wasn't even supposed to take Spanish my second year. Like, it was a whole ordeal. Like, I had issues with, like, math classes back then. Trust me, I did not like math. Okay, if you guys are wondering, math wasn't my strongest subject until I switched my math class in my senior year. Okay, so apparently Cons Math did me justice, because it was an amazing class. I loved my teacher. She was so chill. She was so chill. I passed, I passed that class. I'm not saying it was super easy. It was just a math that I could understand, because I don't understand certain types of math. Like, it stresses me out. And the thing with me is I like being minimally stressed out as much as I can. And senior year was probably the most stressful year for me, because I would like bounce from class to class to class. And if you guys don't know what I mean like sometimes when you're in your last year of high school, they put you in classes that you don't necessarily need to be in. So yeah, like my time management, okay, back then my time management was so bad. Like, YouTube totally took over my life, to the point where I was failing to the point where I was not passing my classes, or, not paying it, like not caring, not seeming to care about school, or my grades, or passing my classes, or, like I was just working all the time. And that came with consequences. Like, I wasn't allowed to film for freaking how long? How long was I gone for? I don't know, freaking 6 months or whatever, until I passed my classes. Yeah, I remember that, because I was so mad. I remember I was so mad, and this was like 2 years ago. This was 2 years ago. So, 2 years ago, I was so bad with time management that, like, YouTube freaking took over my life. I would film 3 days a week. I'd film, 3 days a week, usual schedule, until I moved to full-time, which I moved to full-time back in early May, because I finished my classes, early. I finished my classes, like, weeks in advance. So, yeah, I would film 3 days a week. Like, it would get so bad. Like, I fell so deep into that YouTube hole. And if you guys don't know what a YouTube hole is, it's when you're filming all the time. It's when you get sucked into that hole and you don't come out. Okay, I came out of it, but it took me a long time to prioritize what was important at the time. And for me, that was, passing my classes, making sure I graduated high school on time, and like I would take a lot of like tests in high school. I would take a lot of tests in high school. I would take a lot of tests in high school. I would do a lot of essays in high school. So it was very, 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 very stressful for me. Ow, God, dang it. Okay, ow. I'm never putting my water bottle on my lap desk again, because it just hit me in the knee. So, yeah, it took me a long time to prioritize what was important. Like, I would put off doing homework. It was so bad. I would put off doing homework. I would wait until the last day to get my homework done, and then I had to freaking prioritize what was important. Like, school comes first before work, so I had to like rearrange my schedule. And I would do homework on Fridays. So if you guys are wondering, we had homework pretty much every single day. There were some classes that didn't give us homework on the weekends, but like for classes like English, for example, especially like college prep English and the English I was in, because okay, I was in college prep English and my teacher had us write a lot of essays. Um, I was very used to it because I had to write essays a lot, like all throughout, um, like all throughout high school, even, as a freshman. It's kind of normal. It's kind of that's kind of what you'd expect, but like as you move up in the college prep system, okay, for some people they have like academy programs, and that's kind of the same, but it's a little bit more hectic because you have like, okay, you have your classes, right? You have your classes, right? You have to go to your classes, and then how you graduate, okay, because if you guys are wondering, community service is a part of grad requirements. So another thing is you have to get X amount of hours to be able to graduate. I know, like, some people are like, oh, that doesn't make any sense, but it's true, you do. You have to get a certain amount of hours to be able to walk across the stage and graduate, and get your diploma. Okay, basically, you get your diploma before you walk across the stage. At least that's how it is. That's how it is here. And I think that's how it is for, like, a lot of other places. Or for a lot of other, places and states or whatever. I don't know. But you get your diploma before you graduate. So, before you actually walk across stage. Like, once you get your diploma, you're actually graduated. You just have a graduation ceremony. So, basically, okay, let me just say this. So, you have to have a certain amount of hours to graduate high school. You have to have a certain, I'm pretty sure you have to have, like, certain grades to be able to, well, not certain grades, but you have to have, like, a certain GPA to be eligible to graduate as well, I believe. Because you have to have a certain amount of credits. It depends on, like, the whole credits thing, it totally depends. Some people may have less credits than other people because, let's say they started high school early, or they got a jump start on high school, and everything. So, okay, I basically came back to work before I actually, like, got my diploma, because I finished my classes early. I finished my classes May 8th, I believe. Yeah, I finished my last class at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Or my last assignment. I finished my last class / my last assignment, May 8th at, like, 1 in the afternoon. So, and my last class was English. It wasn't my actual last class of the day, like, if I was actually at school, because I would have, like, an archiving class that I would do, but I aced that class. So, like, my teacher was pretty chill. Pretty much, if we had other stuff to do, he would be like, oh, you have to, like, do your stuff for so-and-so, or, like, if you have stuff for so-and-so, get that done. He would prioritize that first before we did anything else, because that was very important. I had a teacher that had hard deadlines for essays, and she wouldn't accept anything late. She didn't accept anything late. So, yeah, like, if we didn't have, like, the stuff on her desk, if we didn't have the stuff on this teacher's desk the day it was due, we would get like points marked off. And our grade would probably drop because of it. I should know because, you know, I was in a college class. I was literally taking a college course my senior year. So it was like super roller coastery. And if you guys are wondering, the class that you're required to take, you can skip that course if you take it early. If you take it in high school, that is. You can skip that course if you take it in high school, but you have to pass the course. So, if you're wondering, I did pass the course. So, yeah, time management back then, I was so bad with time management to the point that I would go and do YouTube first and then homework. Like, I would wait until the last day to do my homework. It was so bad. I had to, like, switch up my schedule to doing homework on Fridays. And, I mean, there were times that I wasn't able to get my homework done right away, probably because I was having, like, a headache attack. If you guys are wondering, like, headache attacks, it's not, like, regular headaches. Headache attacks aren't regular headaches. When someone is saying they have a headache attack, when someone is saying they're having headache attacks, if you guys suffer from those types of headaches where it's like debilitating, then you guys know what I'm talking about. Where, you know, they're getting headache attacks for several days out of the month. It could be days to weeks to literal months of debilitating headaches. It's very awful because you feel really bad. And, okay, it's not just that you feel really bad, it's you feel really bad, especially when you're in school, because, you know, you have things that are expected of you in high school. It's not like elementary school anymore, where you can just get away with, you know, not doing your homework assignments. And I've always said that. I've always said that to people that are like, that don't seem to get it. That, like, don't seem to get it right away. Of how, like, it's not how I was, like, raised. It's just how I was taught. So, I actually started experiencing headaches at a young age. I'm pretty sure I was in, like, 3rd or 4th grade when I started getting headaches, and they were bad. They were really, really bad. So, like, because I got these headaches, I would be able to get away with, like, not doing my homework, and teachers wouldn't, like, mark me down for it, because I still passed my classes, and I was in elementary school at the time. Like, okay, they were so bad. There were days I literally could not do my homework at all. Like, I could not do my homework. I still remember being, oh my gosh, I can't remember what year it was. I think it was 2011, I think, yeah. Yeah, it was most likely 2011. And I was in 4th grade, I think, yeah. And I was in 3rd or 4th grade. And I remember I would get such awful headaches. Like, I had a teacher that wouldn't even let me go outside. Like, she was afraid of me going outside because, you know, some people have light sensitivity when they have these headaches. And I'm not kidding. It was like pounding types of headaches where you would try to climb in the car. You know how some cars have, like, those steps that you would climb? Like, it was just like a little step that you would climb and get in the car. So, yeah, I remember there were times that I would literally get in the car and my head felt like it was going to explode. I'm not kidding you. So there were times I had to literally just be like, okay. Or like my parents and my teachers would be like, okay, like she can't do her homework. It's fine, she has headaches, it's fine. So, like, I was able to get away with that, get away with doing that for a couple of years. But as I got older and it came back, I've always had headaches, but I mean, when my attacks started up again. When my attacks started up again, I was in it was the summer before my junior year. And I remember it was probably July or August, because that was the month, and that was the year I started taking naps again. If you guys are wondering, I hated taking naps when I was a kid. I hated it. I used to take naps when I was a little bit younger, but I kind of started hating them. And I stopped taking naps until my attacks came back. So, yeah, I had to, prioritize what was important. And for me, what was important was school and, was school and everything. And, especially me being the person I am, having to deal with, all this stuff as a young child. Because if you guys are, if you have things like debilitating headaches and you're in high school, you can't get away with not doing your homework. You just can't. You literally cannot get away with not doing your homework. Because your teachers will know. Your teachers will ask you, okay, people knew that I suffered from headaches. They knew I suffered from headaches. They knew I suffered from things like headaches and, I had, back pain because I have, tight muscles. I have, extremely stiff and tight muscles, so my back would get tight sometimes. So I'd have a yoga ball that I'd carry with me at school for when my back started acting up. And so I had a teacher that was okay, my English teacher was super understanding. She would let me eat in class. I mean, there were people that were asking me that were looking at me that, didn't know that I had these headache attacks, that were why are you eating in class? And or saying things like, you can't eat in class. And I mean, there are some teachers that literally will not let you eat in class. Because I remember I had a final for one of my math classes a couple years ago. I was probably in my sophomore year, no, it wasn't my junior year. I was probably in my sophomore year, and it was finals. I'm never gonna get used to having finals so early in the morning. Or, I never really got used to having finals so early in the morning. I mean, I did. But it was hard when, you know that you're gonna have an attack, and it's just debilitating. And I was saying, I need to eat. I need to eat right now. And I literally had a teacher that would not let me eat. She wouldn't let anybody eat in class. She wouldn't even eat. She wouldn't even eat in her own class. So, the teacher wouldn't let anyone eat in class, but, I had such debilitating headaches at times. It was so bad. I wasn't able to get my homework done. So, I wasn't able to get my homework done sometimes. There were times where my parents were like, okay, you need to lay down. Like, you need to lay down and at least rest for, I don't know, 2 to 4 hours. And I was like, Dad, or like, so, or I would like tell my dad, I would be like, Dad, I'm not, I'm not like a kid anymore. I can't not get away with not doing my homework because my teachers will know. And I mean, my teachers knew, that I had headaches, but like it's all about time management. And so basically what I did, I remember one day, it's my senior year. It was my senior year. It was like way before Rona hit. Like way before Rona hit. It was probably the first 3 months of senior year, and I was in this college class, right? That I was telling you about. So I was in the first half of my English college course. If you guys are wondering, the English course that you have to take in college, which I took in high school. So if I ever went to college, I wouldn't have to take it, because I already took it. So it's English 1A and English 1B. Those are the courses. Those are the English courses that you are required to take in college, and you can skip it altogether if your school has a dual enrollment program, like my school did. Basically, my English teacher was also a college professor, so that's how we, got around that situation. And, she convinced us to take, this because it would help us in the long run. So if we decided to go to college, we wouldn't have to deal with taking an English 1A and B course. So we could skip that altogether. But, we'd still have to take, like, our, the other classes that you were required to take as a freshman in college, like math, math classes, probably science classes, certain history classes, depending on what classes you're required to take. So yeah, I took English 1A and 1B in high school. I got that over with. As I said, it was a dual enrollment program. It was it was free. So that's how I got around. That's how I got around it. I mean, it was hard. It's not for everybody. It was very, very difficult. I was extremely stressed. I was very stressed. So you guys know I do not handle stress very well at times, especially if I'm extremely stressed. So I remember back in the day, it still has to do with time management. I remember back in the day, it was senior year, and we had to read this book. We had to read this, like, legit fairy tale book. It's not like, a children's fairy tale book. It's like literal fairy tales. And I'm talking about, like, the grim ones. Like the gruesome, the gruesome ones, the real fairy tales. So we had this big book of fairy tale stories that we had to read, and then we'd have to do then we'd have to do lit responses and essays on it, and we'd have to do lit responses and essays and things like that. Like, we had to do analyses on movies. That was actually pretty cool. I've seen some pretty cool movies from you know, writing analysis papers in high school. And I wrote a lot of papers in high school. Probably more than the average person would probably write in high school. But yeah, we wrote a lot in high school. And yeah, so time management, I had to like carve out time to, sit at the table for several hours, because like sometimes it would take people a couple of hours to finish an essay. It would take people maybe close to an hour to finish an essay, or longer. Depending on where they started at and where they finished at. And when I was in the zone of writing an essay, I freaking finished the fastest I finished an essay, I think I still have the essay, but the fastest I finished an essay, hang on, I think I have it. I'm gonna probably, pull it up on my phone. Sorry, this is probably like spam calls. The fastest I most likely finished an essay was in a couple of hours. Maybe, I don't know, 2 hours, but it depends, because not everybody finishes an essay in 2 hours. I'm just saying, like, if they're totally immersed into it, and I'm just saying it worked out. Like, I was probably able to finish that quickly because of the fact that I was, doing online school. And what I mean is distance learning. So everything was online. Like, it wasn't hybrid, it was all online. Because back in the day, we weren't allowed to, be in a school setting. Because, some people are hybrid, others aren't. Some schools are hybrid, others are not. And, some people work better on a computer. But, yeah, you need a lot of time management. And you need to take a lot of breaks as well. So, another thing that working at Young has taught me is, time management, time management, taking breaks. Yeah, taking breaks is a big one, because especially if you're on a computer a lot, you need to take breaks. Because, like, I'm not just saying if you work on a computer, I'm saying if you do schoolwork on the computer, like, if you're required by your school to be on the computer. Like, I remember how my school was. Okay, so we wouldn't handwrite anything. Back in the day, we used to handwrite everything. I used to handwrite every single thing. And, I used to handwrite everything when I was in high school back in the day. well, not in high school. When I was in like elementary school, I used to handwrite everything. And then when I got to middle school, I started, you know, like working with computers more. I started being on the computer a lot more. Like, cause I had to write essays. I had to write essays in middle school and in junior high. I had to write essays in middle school and junior high. It's not just high school that you have to write essays. It's middle school as well. So, yeah, I had to write a lot. Okay, I wrote a lot in middle school, actually. I wrote so much, and writing was a huge outlet for me. Hang on, but yeah. Writing was an outlet for me. It's always been an outlet for me. And, okay, if you're wondering when I got into writing, like, when did I get into writing? I was in 8th grade, when I started writing. So, as I said, writing was never a talent I knew that I had. I just opened a computer one day, and I started writing. Okay, it was a class assignment. It was for a class assignment, but that spawned something in me that has literally changed my life. I am not kidding. Honestly, without me doing that assignment, I wouldn't have come up with my book series at all. The Evangeline series wouldn't exist. So I owe it all to that assignment. I owe it all to that, segment of an assignment. And it was a thing called, Genius Hour or whatever. It was so cool. But I'm this freaking assignment changed my freaking life, man. This freaking changed my whole life. So, if you're wondering, I came up with the Evangeline series when I was in 8th grade, and I'm not lying. I came up with this in 8th grade. I have the stories on my Google Docs to prove it. Some of them are printed out, others are not. But yeah, I have the stories. I have the individual stories on my Google Docs to prove it. That I wrote these when I was literally 13 years old. So 5 years ago, in 2015, I started writing these individual works that 18, that I think 4 years later, or 3 to 4 years later, I think it was 3 years later, I actually turned into a book series, and I held onto a plot for I held on to the plot for several years. So, yeah, it taught me time management. It taught me that writing is extremely important. You know, despite you thinking, oh, I don't like writing because, you associate it with writing essays all the time. Well, yes, I do get that because I did struggle with certain things when it came to English. But English has always been my strong point. Okay, English has always been my strong point. Always. Always, always. I cannot remember a time when I, like, even though I struggled in English, I cannot remember a time when English was not my strong point. Because if you're wondering, I did struggle in English. I did struggle. English wasn't an easy class for me. I didn't complain that English was hard because, you know, as I said, writing, like the creative writing aspect of English has always been an outlet for me, always. So let me just show you, or not show you, or maybe I can show you, because so I'm back. So right now I'm on my Google Docs. Right now I'm on Google Docs, if you guys are wondering, to show you guys some of the stories that I do have. Now, I don't have every single story in here. If you're wondering, I do not have every single story in here. Some of them are in a folder that I have. Yeah, I have them in a physical folder. I do not know where the folder is. It's probably under my shelves somewhere, because I just keep random stuff under my bookshelf. So, I mean, okay, some of these stories I haven't even finished yet. But okay, this one is probably my favorite. So if you guys are wondering how I write my stories, I have to physically look at images. Can I, okay, it's fine. Let's do mode. Let's do viewing. So I'm just gonna, like, you know, view these. So, okay. This story I wrote for an English assignment. This story actually got me an A in my English class, if you guys are wondering. Or it didn't get me an A. I got an A on this assignment. I can't remember what grade I had. So this story is called The Phantom Halloween. I'm wondering if I should do a chapter actually using this story for one of my books. I don't know which one I should use. Probably like a book just focusing on both of the girls and not the twins. So here is a story that I wrote. This is a story. This isn't a part of a book. This isn't a part of the book or anything. But, you know, starts out introduction. It starts out the introduction. So this is called A Phantom Halloween. Hi, my name is Mia Evangeline, and let me tell y'all how Princess of Darkness spends her Halloween with my large family. Crystal Rose and Clarice Amber Diamond are my daughters. If you guys are wondering, that is Clarice's full name. She has 2 middle names. And then this starts out, so basically she's in her, like, huge walk-in closet. And she goes, "Good thing I'm hiding in my massive closet. It's way too early for me to find some outfit to make me look amazing every day. Every day for me is dark. My whole family is loaded with cash, so we have money to burn." And then, as I said, I write these in scripts. I don't know why I just have, like, a script type of writing format. I know these aren't actual script writings, but I've been writing like this since I started writing, so I'm very used to it. So Sophie goes, Angie, where are you? Mia, where are you? Oh my god, I got lost in my own house. Aunt Evie, why are you screaming? Okay, so apparently Claire is supposed to be... Okay, Claire is actually younger, like a year younger than, Crystal, but in these stories, Crystal is like 16 years old and, Clarice is either a newborn or maybe, like, I mean, she's a baby in these. I didn't want to use these. Okay, now I know why I didn't want to use these. If you guys could wait just a second, I have to plug in my computer. Oh my gosh, I literally cannot wait to fully get everything situated in here so that I don't have to freaking plug in my computer every single time. Because I have things that I have to do. So yeah. As you can see, I wrote a lot in school. Like, I wrote a bunch. Like, I spent my free time writing. I spent my lunches writing. Like, if I didn't have anything to do, you know what I would do? I would write. Like, on the days I did not have homework, I would be on Wattpad just writing. And I mean, okay, some people think, oh, Wattpad has the worst stories. Why would you use Wattpad? And it's like, I mean, it depends on... It honestly depends on the author and what you're reading. So, yeah, it depends on who the author is, what story you're reading, and if they're just, you know, a good writer in general, and if they know how to make words flow well. So, yeah, I wrote this in 2017 when I was, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was freaking 15 years old when I wrote this. I can't believe I was 15 I was 15 when I wrote this, if you guys are wondering. I literally cannot believe I wrote this. I wrote this when I was a sophomore in high school. I'm so proud of myself though, but like I'm not gonna use it for anything because it wouldn't fit the storyline or anything like that. So yeah, here's one story. We're gonna just scroll through this because this is like 2 pages long my books are way longer than these. Oops. My books are actually way longer than these stories. These are just like, I don't know, sample stories. This one I didn't even finish, so I'm not even gonna bother reading this. This one I did finish. This is like a little biography on me and her family. And then I have this one. I don't think I finished this one either. Yeah, and like all the other stuff is just, all the other stuff is just like super old assignments. I'm not in high school anymore, so those are just assignments from when I was in high school. So yeah, we're not gonna go through that. And I'm going to actually turn this off, and yeah. I've been freaking talking for 15 minutes. I mean, not 15 minutes, for 50 minutes. I am so sorry. It's still pretty early for me in the day, so yeah, sorry. But yeah, writing was an outlet for me, as you can see. I wrote a lot. I wrote a lot in school. I wrote a lot in high school. I wrote a lot in I wrote a lot in high school, as you can see, and writing was obviously a huge help. So yeah, it taught me time management. It taught me to take breaks. It taught me to, like, my job kind of taught me to slow down and take it easy and de-stress, because writing for me was a huge de-stressor, which is a good thing. You need to learn to de-stress yourself. You need to learn to relax. Which is perfectly normal. And it taught me, it just taught me to, like, kind of not go with the status quo, not do what everybody else is doing. And I mean, I know a lot of people are doing YouTube, but I mean, that's not what I mean. That is not what I mean. Like, if you don't want to go out for a traditional job, you don't have to. Like, okay, if you don't want to have a traditional job and you want to work for yourself, you can do that. You just have to have the drive and the passion to do so. And you have to realize that, I'm probably not going to blow up overnight. I'm probably not going to blow up overnight. I'm probably going to need some time. And that's perfectly fine too, but you can't just say, "Oh, I'm going to quit because I'm not because this isn't worth my time." Well, obviously, it's your choice, but if you spend all that time and all that money, because as I said, YouTube is not cheap, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what genre of YouTube you do. It doesn't matter if you do gaming videos. It doesn't matter if you do vlogs. It doesn't matter if you do, lifestyle. It doesn't matter if you do whatever. You're gonna need equipment, which costs a lot of money. You're gonna need to learn how to edit, which sometimes costs money. It depends. It depends on the editor you use. And, like the softwares that the softwares that you use, because some softwares do cost money. They're not cheap. So yeah, like it's taught me to work hard. It's taught me to cherish the things that I have. It's taught me not to take things for granted. It's taught me a lot of things that I probably cannot, that I probably can't, talk about all in one episode, because I'm just gonna, like, go off and ramble, and I don't want to do that. Like, I want to stay on topic. So, yeah. And with that, I think I've been talking for quite some time now, so I'm gonna go, because one, I have not posted a podcast episode in a while, and two, it's still early in the day. It's like 11:30 now, and I started filming a little over an hour ago, probably. Yeah, I started filming 58 minutes ago. Or not 58 minutes ago, 56 minutes ago, I'm sorry. I started filming 56 minutes ago, so almost an hour has gone by, and I need to let my computer charge. So, yeah. With that, I'm gonna go. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast episode. Or I hope you guys enjoy this podcast episode. Enjoy this episode. And, if you guys are wondering, this is available on pretty much every podcast platform. Podcast platform, not music platform. We're available on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Apple Podcast, iTunes, all those other podcasting platforms. And we're, available on Anchor, obviously, because that is where the podcast is hosted. Or that is where the podcast is hosted. That's where it's originally posted to, and then it distributes everywhere, and then it distributes elsewhere. So, yeah, with that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and be sure to leave a like, comment, and please subscribe to my channel for more videos if you are watching on YouTube, because it would help a lot if people, like if my YouTube people got the word out, and, told their friends about it, like, hey, Phantom has a podcast, so with that, I'm gonna go. Hope you guys enjoyed, and have a great rest of your day, or your evening, or whenever you guys are gonna be watching or listening to this. So, yeah, goodbye, guys. I'm gonna go now, and I'm going to take a break, because, as I said, my stuff needs to charge.